Yesterday, for normal Americans, was an ordinary Saturday, but if you're a Democrat politician or a member of the Operation Mockingbird media machine, then it was the third anniversary of the new Pearl Harbor, January 6th. The mostly peaceful protest by Black Lives Matter standards at the Capitol in 2021, where patriotic Americans gathered in hopes to convince Mike Pence to not certify the electoral votes from the 2020 election and instead send the decision back to state legislatures, which many legal scholars saw as a perfectly legal and perfectly reasonable strategy if there was some suspicions that happened during the election that, of course, you're not allowed to talk about if you're a Republican. So from now until the end of time, the Democrat Party and their mouthpieces in the media hold a candlelight vigil every year to commemorate the fateful day.
If I can halt for a second and just say to you, the impact what happened on July the 6th had international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand.
That's not a deep fake, by the way. That is the seated president of the United States. Actually, technically last year on the second anniversary on January 6th, and he still couldn't get the date right. And since he's aging like milk, he wasn't any more presidential this year. In fact, his caretaker had to come after his big speech and help him off stage. This way, Joey, it's time for your ice cream.
We have a president who's incompetent. He can't put two sentences together. He can't find his way off the stage. Can't find it. Never. He's looking around. He's always looking for stairs. Has anyone seen?
And despite Democrats' best efforts to try to turn this into some big historical date along the lines of Pearl Harbor, December 7th, or September 11th, 9/11, their propaganda just isn't working.
Does the date January 6th ring a bell?
It does not, actually.
It does not.
No.
What happened on January 6th?
I don't know.
No. Something happened. Some people won't stop complaining about it. Just getting people's.
I couldn't tell you, bud.
And we're just getting people's opinions on.
I don't know what January 6th.
What is January 6th?
Have you heard that date being talked about at all?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
But if you tuned in to CNN or MSNBC, it was a whole other story. A sob story.
It's Michael Fanone, former D.C. Metropolitan Police Officer, Courage for America Council member, and author of Hold the Line, The Insurrection and One Cop's Battle for America's Soul.
He wrote a book, and it was granted, can you see that? A New York Times bestseller. If you missed my video debunking the New York Times bestseller list, then you have to go and watch it because there is no way that this book was a bestseller. But wait for it.
Officer Fanone, I'm going to try to get through this. Thank you for what you did 3 years ago today. Please tell me your thoughts on this third anniversary.
A lot of the times when we talk about a political pundit or a teleprompter reader crying about something, it's kind of hyperbolic. Doesn't mean that they actually broke down into tears. It just means they're, upset and whining about something. But this guy had a tissue on set and literally broke down into tears, which I guess is a fairly common occurrence amongst the cable news crowd. Here's Rachel Maddow breaking down after learning about Donald Trump's immigration plan.
Providers just... I think I'm going to have to hand this off. Yeah. Sorry. That does it for us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Now it is time for The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell, where he is live in Brownsville, Texas.
Thank you very much.
But it's not just liberal women. It's liberals of all genders. And when I say all genders, I mean two genders, because, of course, that's all that there are.
I mean, this is not funny. It's not cute. It's not a soundbite war. At a certain point, you have a lot of people now. It's not just the people you're emboldening. It's the people you're abandoning who now don't know if they have a government that gives a damn about them. Those are the people you have to worry about, too, because we're spiraling away from each other. We're spiraling away from each other. And I don't know what to say tonight. I usually have something clever, something smart. I'm just hurt. I'm sitting here hurt, and I think a lot of people are hurt tonight.
You feel this personally?
Or the time that this alleged man broke down into tears after President Trump mentioned the fact that Baltimore, a Democrat-run city, has a major rat problem.
Infested, he says. The president says about Congressman Cummings' district.
It's infested with rats, yes. I'm sure that anybody who lives there can attest to that.
That no human would want to live there. You know who did, Mr. President? I did.
Of course you did, and there's a reason you left. The same reason why this Baltimore resident, a black woman, is upset with the city because of the rat problem.
Nobody wants them, nobody likes them, yet residents in the city have been fighting rats forever.
They eat the trash can, and this is about the second trash can I bought.
And remember when Hillary Clinton read her planned acceptance speech for the 2016 presidential election years later, publicly? Brace yourselves, because the cringe here is off the charts.
I dream of going up to her.
She's talking about her mom.
And sitting down next to her, taking her in my arms, and saying, look at me, listen to me. And as hard as it might be to imagine,
here's the best part.
Your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States.
And who could forget election night 2016 when this was the scene, seriously, at Hillary Clinton's campaign headquarters, where her fans eagerly awaited her victory speech, only to realize that she had lost. Those were the days, but unfortunately, those days are long gone. And if you go and watch my victory speech from election night 2016, titled Trump Won, We Did It, which I'll try to leave linked up in the description below if I remember when I'm uploading this video, you can see obviously that I was extremely thrilled because I had hoped and expected that Donald Trump would win. But I also warned that the empire would soon strike back in unprecedented ways. As one of the recent commenters on the video who decided to go and rewatch it, somehow came across the video, noted, this aged like wine. Another recent comment 2 years ago on the video said, brilliant words spoken by Mark 4 years ago, and everything he said true and relevant today 4 years later. I'll do my best this year to try to bring some levity to the situation and some gallows humor, but make no doubt about it, we're in for some very difficult times, so buckle up. The Justice Department just signaled that they may start arresting peaceful protesters who were at the Capitol on January 6th back in 2021, who didn't even go inside the Capitol building. Up until now, the only person who they did arrest for doing that was Owen Schroyer. But here is a DC attorney making some very odd remarks about what may be their plans this year.
An important note when it comes to our prosecutions about those who remained outside the building. We have used our prosecutorial discretion to primarily focus on those who entered the building or those who engaged in violent or corrupt conduct on Capitol grounds. But if a person knowingly entered the restricted area without authorization, they had already committed a federal crime. Make no mistake, thousands of people occupied an area that they were not authorized to be present in the first place.
It's a crime, he says, to peacefully stand or walk around on the grass outside of the U.S. Capitol. And if you didn't get my new book, The War on Conservatives, for Christmas, then I guess you're just going to have to order a copy for yourself in paperback from Amazon.com or click the link in the description below. If you like watching my videos, you're really going to love reading my book. It's a lot more serious, a lot more in-depth, a lot of hot topics in there that best to be avoided on YouTube and other social media platforms. So head on over to Amazon.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.